Good morning everyone. See, in the last class we discussed about monohybrid cross. Okay. See, monohybrid cross is nothing but the cross made between two individuals differing in a pair of contrasting character, or the cross made to study the inheritance of single pair of genes. Okay. See, after conducting the experiments on monohybrid cross, Gregor John Mendel, who put forth the principles or theories like law of dominance or law of segregation of gametes. See, according to law of dominance, among the pair of factors, or when factors present together in a pair, one factor that dominates or masks the expression of the other, and that factor what we call as dominant factor or the dominant gene or the allele, and the another one that suppressed by or masked by the other, that is what we call as recessive factor, that is unable to express its character. When it is present in heterozygous condition, it means that when it is present along with the dominant factor capital T and small t, it is like that. So when it is present along with this, the small t, this factor is unable to express the character. So you know the results of monohybrid cross. Okay. So when two homozygous plants, when they were crossed together, pure breeding pea plants, when they were crossed together, so like one of the plant is having the genotype like capital T and this plant is considered as tall, the phenotype is tall. You know what is phenotype and genotype. And another one is small t and small t, so where both are homozygous in nature and they produces the gametes. And this one is what is called as the dwarf. When they produces a gamete capital T and small t, the F1 hybrid will be heterozygous tall in nature. So this is heterozygous tall. It means the first generation or the hybrid generation, the first one, the F1 generation, so where all plants were produced, they were tall. Again, when these F1 plants or hybrids, when they were allowed for self-pollination, they produces the plants in the ratio of 3:1. This is the phenotypic ratio of monohybrid cross. Among that, 3 plants were tall. It means the ratio will be tall, and 1% of them will be the dwarf. Okay. So that is the genotypic ratio will be 1:2:1. It means 1 homozygous tall, 2 heterozygous tall, and 1 will be the pure dwarf. Okay. So this is the phenotypic and genotypic ratio of monohybrid cross. Okay. By conducting the experiments on monohybrid cross, Gregor John Mendel, I said that he put forth the theory that is what we call as law of dominance and law of segregation of gametes. It means during the formation of gametes, the factors or alleles, they get separated each other, they get segregated each other. That is what we call law of segregation of gametes. Okay. So now I am going to explain about the concept of test cross. Okay. See, test cross is nothing but the cross made between F1 hybrid and the recessive parent. The cross made between F1 hybrid and recessive parent is what is called as test cross. Okay. So take it an example of monohybrid cross. The F1 hybrid will be heterozygous tall, that is having the genotype capital T and small t. Whereas the recessive parent, we are considering the height of the plant. So you know the two contrasting features in the height, one is a dwarf, another one is the tall. Okay, these are the two contrasting features in the height. What is a test cross? A test cross is nothing but the cross made between two individuals, especially the F1 hybrid and the recessive parent. That is what we call as test cross. So if we consider the height of the plant body, you know that there are two contrasting features, one is a tall, another one is a dwarf. So among that, the F1 hybrid is having the genotype capital T and small t, whereas the recessive parent for this one will be small t and small t. Okay. So let us look into the gametes. It will produce two kinds of gametes, means 50% of the gametes will carry capital T factor or capital T gene, and another 50% with the recessive gene, that is small t. So you should remember that we are mentioning or representing the dominant genes with a capital letter, whereas the recessive genes with a small letter. Okay. So here capital T is considered as a dominant gene and small t is considered as a recessive gene, where the moves are segregated into two gametes. 50% of the gametes will carry the dominant gene and the other 50% of the gametes will carry the recessive gene. Whereas this one is homozygous, the dwarf one, the recessive parent, it produces only one type of gametes with only one type of factor. Okay. If we consider the height, so then look into the fusion or fertilization of the gametes, where the chances of fertilization will be capital T and capital T, whereas small t and small t. Okay, it means that again a heterozygous stall plant is produced. This is heterozygous stall. You know what is heterozygous condition? A condition where having a dissimilar pair of genes or alleles for a particular character, whereas this will be the dwarf. The small one will be the dwarf. Okay. So this is the result of test cross. So where you can find out the ratio 1:1, where one is tall, another one is dwarf. So why test cross is conducted? The major reason for conducting the test cross is to show the recessive gene is not diluted or it is not deleted totally. It is only hidden. It means it is unable to express in the first generation, that is in the F1 generation, where only tall plant is produced. Though the recessive gene present along with the dominant gene, this gene is unable to express its character. Okay. So but when it is again crossed, the F1 hybrid when again crossed with the recessive parent, again the recessive character or the dwarf nature that will be reappeared in the next cross. It means that on crossing or on hybridization, the recessive factor or the recessive gene is not totally diluted or it is not deleted at all. It is only hidden. It means it is unable to express its character when it is present along with the dominant gene. But when we conduct the test cross, it shows again the presence of recessive gene. It means the recessive character is reappeared. When F1 hybrid crosses with the recessive parent, the recessive character will be reappeared. So it shows that recessive gene only hidden, it is not diluted. Okay, so that is one of the most important significance of the test cross. Okay, and another thing, the test cross that helps to know the genotype of the individuals. Okay, so you came to know that the heterozygous stall and the pure homozygous dwarf. Okay, it also shows the genotype of the individual. So they are the significance of test cross. You know what is test cross? The cross made between the F1 hybrid and the recessive parent is what is called as test cross. Okay, and the next one similarly, the back cross. See, back cross is nothing but the cross made between F1 hybrid with either of the parents. It means either the cross made with the dominant parent or the cross that is made with the recessive parent. The cross made with the F1 hybrid, see this is the F1 hybrid, either with the recessive parent or with the dominant parent. Dominant parent means pure homozygous stall. Okay, so the cross made between F1 hybrid either with the recessive parent or with the dominant parent, that is what we call as back cross. See, test cross is also nothing but a kind of back cross. If we consider only the recessive parent, it is called as test cross. So suppose if the F1 hybrid is either it is crossed with the recessive parent or it is crossed with the dominant parent, it is what is called as the back cross. Okay. So and the next concept is about, so this is up to the monohybrid cross and the law of dominance. Okay. And one of the important thing and important concept in the chapter Principles of Inheritance, it is about incomplete dominance. Incomplete dominance. Incomplete dominance. So students, you have studied up to the law of dominance. It means only the dominant factor that expresses the character and the recessive factor that fails to express its character. Okay. So here, after the death of Mendel, you know that the three scientists, that is Karl Karenz, Hugo de Vries and Sherman, they rediscover the work of Gregor John Mendel, and actually the Karenz who proposes the laws of Mendel. So mainly the concept what is called as incomplete dominance, this is a deviation from Mendelism. You know what is Mendelism? That is nothing but the set of rules which were proposed by Gregor John Mendel. It means the credit that goes to Mendel. Actually it was proposed by Karenz, but he gave the credit to Mendel because the pioneer work that was conducted by Gregor John Mendel. So the deviation from Mendelism, that is what is called as incomplete dominance. So this was discovered by again Karl Karenz, who discovered another phenomenon, that is what is called as incomplete dominance. So until that, the world that knows that only the law of dominance is acceptable in all cases. But once after the discovery of this method, that is what is called as incomplete dominance, so a new mechanism or new pattern of inheritance that was discovered by, that is Karl Karenz. It shows that always the law of dominance that always doesn't count. Okay, always this is not the fact. So sometimes there are some deviations were observed in Mendelism. It means the laws of Mendel's, so they may deviate or new mechanisms will appear. So that is what is called as incomplete dominance, a deviation from Mendelism. Okay, so this was first discovered by Karl Correns in a plant, you know that 4 o'clock plant, that is commonly the scientific name is known as Mirabilis jalapa, and also the plant called as snapdragon. The common name is snapdragon and the botanical name is Antirrhinum majus. A major question is asked in the examination for 5 marks. Explain or write a note on incomplete dominance or explain the flower color inheritance in snapdragon or Antirrhinum majus or 4 o'clock plant. Okay, so in this we studied the new pattern, that is what is called as incomplete dominance. So according to law of dominance, only the dominant factor that expresses the character, it completely masks the recessive factor, but in incomplete dominance, as the name itself suggests, incomplete, it means the dominant gene is incompletely dominant or partially dominant over the recessive factor. See, once you consider the partial dominance, this is also called as partial dominance. See, once you consider the partial dominance, it means that the recessive gene is also having its effect. Some part of effects will be shown by recessive gene also or recessive factor also. Not only the dominant factor that completely dominates the recessive one, but the recessive factor also showing some effects. Okay, so where the resulting trait will be the intermediate between dominant and the recessive. Okay, because here recessive gene is also showing its effect, not completely masked by the dominant gene, or the dominant gene that not completely masks or dominates the recessive gene. The recessive gene also showing its effect. So resulting trait will be, it means the resulting character will be the intermediate between the dominant and the recessive. So until here you have studied the two criteria like dominant and the recessive. So now we are going to study about the intermediary characters that were observed in between the dominant and the recessive one. Okay. So for that he selected the snapdragon or Antirrhinum majus. So the flower color pattern or inheritance of flower color in snapdragon or Antirrhinum majus or the 4 o'clock plant or Mirabilis jalapa, both are two different plants. Okay. Suppose if we consider Antirrhinum majus or snapdragon, so where Karl Correns, who considered two characters, it means two different forms of a character, that is flower color in snapdragon or Antirrhinum majus. So see, there are two contrasting forms in this. One is a pink, another one is white. Pink and the white. See, pink color of the flower is dominant and white is said to be the recessive one. Pink is dominant and white is said to be recessive here. He selected, for crossing he selected pure breeding red flowered plant. Pure breeding red flowered plant, and it is controlled by the genotype like capital R and capital R. This is nothing but the parent. The pure breeding red colored one or flowered one is a parent, and similarly the pure breeding white flowered plant. Pure breeding white flowered plant, and it is controlled by the genotypes like capital R and small r. Okay. See, I am writing the gametes here. So this plant produces the gametes like capital R, and this will be small r. Only one type of gametes will be observed. It means the gametes with only one type of factor, because both of them are homozygous in nature. Capital R and capital R, you should write only one. It means should not write like this. Okay, I have said in the last class. So because as there is a meiosis during the gametogenesis, so only half of the genes or half of the chromosomes were transferred to gametes, so that I have to write only one. Okay. So then the pure breeding white flowered one, so with the gametes small r. If the fertilization takes place between these two gametes, so then capital R and small r, this is the progeny, that is nothing but the F1 hybrid. So interestingly, the F1 hybrid that shows the character of pink, but the expected one will be red according to law of dominance. Okay. See, once pink is produced, see, pink is a mixture of red and white. Okay. Or it is a partial. When red is diluted, then the color obtained, that will be pink. Okay. So the expected one will be red according to law of dominance. But here, interestingly, the new character is appeared, that is intermediate between the red and the white. Okay. It means the red is diluted here. Partially there is a mixing of character of the recessive gene, that is a white. So then the color of the flower in this plant, in the progeny, that is in the F1 hybrid, that will be pink in nature. Okay. So hence this is not completely the dominant gene, that indicates that the dominant gene not completely dominates over the recessive gene. Okay. You can see the partial dominance of the dominant gene on the recessive gene. That's why it is said to be incomplete dominance. Suppose if it is dominant, no doubt it will be like law of dominance. But as the deviation is observed here, a new character is observed here, it is considered as incomplete dominance or partial dominance. Here we can see the blending of the characters of the dominant gene and the recessive gene. The intermediary character is observed. So in the F1 generation, so where here the hybrid or the plants or offsprings will be bear the pink colored flowers. Okay. So again, when these F1 hybrids, when they were allowed for self-pollination or when they are selfing, the plants will be obtained in the F2 generation as per the following cross. The two F1 hybrids are selfing together. F1 hybrids are selfing together. You know what is F1 hybrid? So they are the pink colored plants, pink flowering plants. Okay. So you know the genotype like capital R and small r. Here also capital R and small r. Here I am representing through the Punnett square, capital R and small r. Here capital R and small r. I am writing the checkerboard or the Punnett square. On one side you can make out the gametes like male and female gametes. Capital R and small r on one side, and in this side capital R and small r. You make the cross, capital R and capital R. I said in the last class, capital R and capital R. The first one on this side, again on this side, again you consider this one. The probabilities I am talking about, the capital R and small r, again capital R and small r, this is one, again small r and small r. Okay. So let us look into the characters. This is capital R and small r. Just remember, this is a pure homozygous red. This is a pure homozygous red. Okay, again capital R and small r, look into the previous class cross, that is the pink. This will be pink in nature. Again this one is also pink. You can observe the genotype, capital R and capital R, same thing. So this one small r and small r, this will be white. This will be white in nature. Okay. The recessive character, that will be white. So let us look into the phenotype and genotype. How many red flowered plants are observed here? That is only one here. Only one. Okay. One red. How many pink can observe here? In this, two pinks can be seen here. Two. Then how many number of plants with the white one? That will be one. So then what is the phenotypic ratio? Phenotypic ratio will be 1:2:1. One red, two pink, and again one white. Okay. So then look into the genotypic ratio. Genotypic ratio will be, look into the genotypic ratio. Capital R and capital R, this will be one type. Capital R and small r, this will be two. Can observe here, small r and small r, that will be white, that is only one. Hence the genotypic ratio is also 1:2:1. See, this is the cross, the incomplete dominance, where both the phenotypic ratio and genotypic ratio, that will be similar. See, such kind of questions will be asked in CET or NEET. In what cross both the genotypic ratio and phenotypic ratio, they were similar. You can look here, both the phenotypic ratio and the genotypic ratio both were same, that is 1:2:1. So 1 pink, 1 red, 2 pink and 1 white. Okay. Similarly, the genotypic ratio is also same. Okay. So this is a deviation from Mendelism. Okay. So according to law of dominance. So where here this is what is called as incomplete dominance. Okay. So where the dominant gene is partially dominant or incompletely dominant over the recessive gene, and the trait that is obtained in the progeny is intermediate between the dominant and the recessive, or it is blending the dominant and the recessive one. Here the recessive factor is also showing some effects on the dominant gene. Okay, so this is about the incomplete dominance. The last states that the dominant gene fails to express complete dominancy over the recessive gene, or it is incompletely dominant over the recessive gene, and the trait that was obtained in the hybrid, that is intermediate between the dominant and the recessive gene. Okay, so this is about the incomplete dominance. Okay, so in the next class I explain the concepts about the differences between incomplete dominance and another mechanism, that is deviation, again a deviation from the Mendelism, that is about the codominance. Okay.